Speed Feng Shui. We all heard of speed dating, fast food, instant coffee, instant enlightenment, speed reading. Actually, my other career is speed reading coach. I've got a portfolio of careers, and one of them is speed reading coach. So we're also familiar with the terms. And I want to introduce a new type of Feng Shui, speed Feng Shui. Why not? We all like speed. Yes? And obviously, this mountain seems very still. Yeah? It's actually very fast. How fast is this mountain? It's very fast. It's moving at the speed of 25,000 miles per day. That's the speed of our planet. So that's about 1,000 miles per hour. We're all moving at that speed. And let's put that in a bigger picture of the galaxy. You know what's the speed of our galaxy? 300,000 miles per hour. That's very fast. Yeah? But it's an illusion that it's all still. And go deeper even to your cellular level. Do you know how fast is your DNA? How fast your body is moving? About 2,500 hertz. So your DNA is flicking in and out, moving at the speed of 2,500 hertz. And hertz is about it's a cycle per second. So it's very fast. Within a second, your DNA shifts 2,500 times. So we all speed actually. We're not, I mean, obviously we have a concept of yin and yang, movement and stillness, but actually there's only movement. There's no stillness. It's very difficult to be still. You have to really, really work hard to be still. So it's part of our life, and we can see how we can apply it in Feng Shui. Right. So let's start with Feng Shui. So on the same page. What is Feng Shui for? What's the function of Feng Shui?
To create harmony.
Create harmony. Very good. Any other things?
Dynamic balance.
Dynamic balance. Very nice. But when people come to us as consultants, what do they want?
Transformation.
Transformation, change. Yeah? So it's really a tool for change. To make shifts in people's life via the environment. That's what Feng Shui is about. And the word shift is very useful to remember. And we'll do a little exercise at the end, and we'll see how we can shift your Feng Shui here and now. Now, change, as Mike suggested, can be frightening to people. People don't like to change. People like the establishment. Yeah? So, although on some level we want to change, but on the other hand, we're frightened of change. So what do you do? How do you deal with that? So obviously you need to have enough carrot for yourself to shift yourself, but also enough stick to shift yourself. So you need to sort of imagine beautiful heaven and at the same time horrible hell to shift. Because really a pain of, as long as in order to change, the pain of not changing needs to be greater than the pain of changing. That's when people change. We're creatures of habits. We don't like to change, really. So, so that's what Feng Shui about, really. Now, how to change? How to find that speed? So, one lesson already, speed comes from awareness that you're really fast. You're really moving very fast. Everything's fast in your life. So really it's just an illusion that we're slow. So that's one step. Another thing is finding a leverage point for change. The quicker you find the leverage point, and the more effective the leverage point is, the quicker it will change. So a big overview, and Diane I think mentioned big picture. The bigger the picture you have, the quicker you can change. So whatever you're doing, the bigger picture you have, so even if you do your vision board or anything, just to see yourself as big as possible, it will help you to change faster. The next thing, obviously, Feng Shui is about energy, qi. My definition of qi is grace. I think it's the kind of nicer way, because for most people, qi doesn't mean much. Unless you're Oriental and you grew up in that environment, it has a different connotation. Energy is kind of technical. I think grace is, and I'm going to talk about grace later, is a nice definition of what qi actually is. And 80-20 rule. Do you know 80-20 rule? Have you heard of it? Anybody has a good definition of 80-20 rule?
20% of the wardrobe gets worn 80% of the time.
Yes, all women know that. Yeah. It comes from this guy, Pareto, who discovered in his garden that 20% of pea pods created 80% of peas. He looked then in economy, in Italy, 20% of people owned 80% of wealth. He looked at the whole planet, the same. So, very useful. I live by 80-20 rule. It's the best rule I've learned this time around, and I think it's very useful. So, think about it in practice. You move to a new home, in very quick period of time, in 20% of time, you can create 80% of change. Very quickly. But then the rest, sorting out the rest of the house takes forever. The rest, 20%, takes 80% of your time. Okay? So the rule says 20% of effort creates 80% of results. Do you understand?
I was just going to say it's the same in shops. 80% of the turnover comes from 20% of the product.
Yeah. Or in your practice, 20% of clients bring you 80% of profit. In speed reading, 20% of words in most books, general books, contain 80% of information, as Simon demonstrated on one slide. He pulled out all the keywords for wabi-sabi on one page. That's how it works. So it's very useful to find. So finding leverage points. I've been doing Feng Shui for a long time, and in essence, I like quick results. And quick results are not the same as quick fix. It's a different category. I probably won't have time to go into it. But so I like to find very quickly areas in people's lives where I can make a shift, because that's what people pay. People like to get results very quickly. Quick story. There was a big passenger liner that was coming from, I think, Southampton to America, and the engine was broken. So the whole people, there was 400 people on the board, and it wasn't working. And they tried to fix it all day. People were very aggravated, you know, they couldn't set up on the journey, and they couldn't fix it. And then they called this expert who used to work with that sort of type of engines. Yeah? So this quite old man came, and he came and just listened to the engine from one side, then from the other side, and then he took out a very small hammer, and he tapped one bit of the engine, and the engine started to work, and there was never a problem. Brilliant. So they were quite happy. Yeah? So that's leverage, you know. So then he sent them a bill, and it was like $10,050. $10,050 for tapping, you know, the engine. So tapping the engine, $50. Knowing where to tap, 10,000. So that's what. So the speed comes from experience. From your life experience. The more experience you have, the bigger view of life you have, the quicker you find the leverage points. The same with acupuncture. Good acupuncturists will shift your energy very quickly. They find put one or two needles in key areas, your energy shifts. A bad acupuncturist, lots of needles for a long time, and it's not working. Right, another sort of example in nutrition. One thing you can change in your diet completely changes your body. Take out sugar from your diet. We know it's the biggest problem in nutrition. There were clinics in Poland where they cured every possible illness from cancer to multiple sclerosis, anything, with a normal diet, but there was no sugar in that diet. Sugar messes up your whole system, yeah? And we know that. You know? But we love sugar, so that's our choice. But that's the leverage point. That's the things we're looking for.